And welcome back, folks. This is US Home Talk, and we are live almost every single Wednesday at noon Central Standard Time. Jason Walgrave here with, I got to turn down my volume. I got all these multitasking things going on. Jason Walgrave here with Minnesota Real Estate Team and Walgrave Real Estate Group at RE/MAX Advantage Plus. We've got the great Marcus Walgrave with Hague Realtors. We've got Mortgage Michael Overson with Luminate Home Loans and Luminate Bank. We've got Evan Little, the great producer. Man, are we excited? It's almost like we're going to Vegas tomorrow, isn't it? It's just the excitement in the air. I don't know, guys. I don't know.
It is high. Very high levels of excitement going on.
We got a big show planned this morning, folks. Be sure to check out our website, ushometalk.com. Best way to get a hold of us anytime during the week or anytime at all. ushometalk.com. Connect directly with Marcus, Mike, myself, Evan, all of our fantastic US Home Talk partners. We've got our past shows on there. We've got great resources for buying, selling, investing, financing, refinancing, real estate, residential, new construction, commercial, all things real estate, anything and everything real estate related. Go to ushometalk.com. We've got a real estate hotline number, 612-234-7585. During the show, you can text in your questions or comments. You can also leave comments on our Facebook page or YouTube page, however it is you are catching us live. And then we do appreciate folks, however it is you tune in, whether it's live or later in the week. We're on all the streaming platforms, so you can find us there. And looking forward to a good show today. What are we talking about? What is today's topic? Consumer Guide, 10 questions to ask a buyer's agent. So this is new. This is from NAR yesterday. And I will say once in a while, NAR puts out some good stuff. I read this one yesterday, and I thought, you know what? How relevant and how important is a buyer's agent in today's world with all the NAR changes that have happened this year, August 17th. I think most of them are pretty good. We've actually implemented all but one of them over a decade ago, so it hasn't really affected our business much. We really haven't changed a whole lot, although we did put together a buyer presentation that's new this year, and so our new clients and customers that we've been working with, they love it. They love it. It breaks down what we do as a team in comparison to other agents in RE/MAX and then just anybody with a real estate license. And folks, there's a big difference. There's like 1 million licensed real estate agents in the United States. And I don't know what the percentage is, but there's not that many as far as a percentage of them that are what I would consider great realtors. Maybe 20-25% are good realtors. But unfortunately, I think more than half are less than what certainly than what I expect, and I think what most people would expect in an agent. So today we're going to be talking about if you're a buyer, and whether you're a first-time buyer or you're a 6th or 7th or 10th time buyer, you should be meeting with your agent before you start working with them, talking about the services that they offer, what expectations, and really a list of questions that you should ask. And so again, this list came from NAR yesterday. Consumer Guide, 10 questions to ask a buyer's agent. Mike and Marcus, I'd love your comments after each one. Folks, be sure to go to our website anytime, which is ushometalk.com. You can watch this show and all of our previous shows and connect directly with Mike and Marcus and Evan and myself. All right, question number 1. you're a buyer. You're going to be buying a house. You're going to be getting into the market. You're going to sit down and meet with an agent. Maybe it's live in person. Maybe it's a Zoom meeting or some type of virtual setting. But you should ask some questions. It's a big deal. You're making one of the largest purchases of your life. I believe that you should be working with a top agent that has your best interest in mind, that is working for you, that is representing you in the best possible way. And so a part of that is, if you're a buyer, you're interviewing the agent. And so there, I kind of, sometimes my kids will ask, Dad, are you the boss? And I said, yeah, I'm the boss. And I said, but, I have a lot of employers during the year. So every buyer and seller that I meet with, I'm on a job interview, man. Right. And so, questions to ask. Number one, are you a realtor? When you work with an agent who is a realtor, you are working with a professional guided by ethical duties under the Realtor Code of Ethics, including the pledge to protect and promote the interests of their clients. There is a difference between realtors and somebody with a real estate license. And I think most of the public, they don't realize that. They just think everybody's kind of in this, if you got a license and you can sell real estate, you're all in the same bucket, and that's not the case. If you're a realtor, you are held to a different and higher standard, and it's why NAR started many years ago, to protect the consumer and to deliver a different level of service and representation. So that's question number one on the list. If I'm a buyer, I'm sitting down meeting with agents, number one question is, are you a realtor?
I would imagine that if you ask that question, if you ask the question of, are all licensed real estate agents also realtors, and you actually ask licensed agents that question, I bet more than half of them would get it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You know what? Sadly, I think you're probably right, Mike.
So I can guarantee the general consumer doesn't know the difference between the two either. But you are correct, Jason, right? Realtors are held to higher standards, and you have additional stuff you have to go through in order to have the designation of realtor. And so it's a great question to ask, because if your agent you're working with is a realtor, you know that they have then completed what they need to complete to be held to those higher standards.
Yeah, and a dead giveaway, kind of a tell, kind of a red flag, is if that agent is referring to realtors as realtors. If they're using the term realtor, they probably don't know the difference, because it is pronounced realtor.
Not realtor?
Not realtor.
We talk about the Code of Ethics, right, guys, and standards of practice of the National Association of Realtors, and you can find this information on the NAR website. It breaks down that our duties to clients and customers, our duties to the public, and also our duties to other realtors as well. There's 17 articles that we are held to in terms of this code of ethics, and that's why there's a difference between a licensed real estate agent and a realtor, because a realtor has to abide by these code of ethics and standards, and if they don't, then they are no longer allowed to call themselves a realtor, and then they just need to let everybody know that they're just simply a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm. It's a great first question. Folks, we're talking about a consumer guide, 10 questions to ask your buyer's agent. Phone lines or text lines rather are open, 612-234-7585. Send in your questions, anything and everything real estate related. You can also, in the comment section on Facebook and YouTube, ask those questions or make those comments as well. Number 2 on our list, what types of services can you provide me? Agents may offer many types of services, such as finding your homes that meet your criteria, accompanying you on showings, sharing their analysis of the market and available properties, negotiating on your behalf, and more. The more information so we break this down, because this is a really good question. What are the services that you can provide to me? And we have it broke down where, anybody with a real estate license, we've got about 4 boxes that they provide. And then we've got RE/MAX agents, which are arguably some of the best agents in the world. And you got a whole bunch of additional boxes. And then we've got what our team does, and it's 3 times as many boxes. And so we go through these things because it's important for us to share with our potential clients, what we do and how we represent you and the benefits and the differences. How are we different than other agents, or how are we different than someone that isn't a part of NAR, that isn't a realtor but just has a real estate license. So, it's a valuable question to ask. What type of services can you provide me?
Now, is one of those things, Jason, maybe the team that surrounds you as well, as one of the services that you can provide? And the reason why I bring that up is this, think of a one man or one woman show, right? They have their own life. They probably, maybe they're married, they got kids, they have other responsibilities. You as the buyer, you have your job you have to go to, you have your family, you have responsibilities, right? So going on showings, signing contracts, getting things explained to you, if you're a one man or one woman show, what's your availability, to be able to mold and be flexible with your clients' schedule, having a team around you, right? So you might not be available, but now you have a team member that can step in and help out, right? And so then you kind of have like 24/7 coverage for all of your clients, where as the one man or one woman show probably doesn't have that type of flexibility.
Yeah, it's a great point, Mike. And I think I am a strong believer in team representation. And what I mean is when I meet with buyers and sellers, I explain to them, look, you're not just hiring me, you're hiring me and my team. And collectively, we're basically available 24/7. We've got agents that are available on nights and weekends, and we got agents that are available during the day, and we have some of the best executive administrators in the business. And so, as a consumer, I want to work with a team because I know that my needs are going to be met by the whole team collectively and not just one person. I mean, there's only probably one individual agent that I can think of, and he's a friend of ours. You know who I'm talking about. That can provide, I think, close to what a team provides. But that's all he does. I mean, he's all in. I mean, it's real estate and clients first above everything, and he does a phenomenal job. But generally speaking, it's just not possible. I mean, you need to have time off. I mean, most agents have. They've got families, or they've got significant others, or they've got other, obligations. And so as a consumer, why wouldn't you want to hire for the same price, right? It doesn't cost extra, but why wouldn't you want to hire an entire team compared to just one person? I mean, it's a question to ask.
I put it this way. So how many NBA championships has Michael Jordan won?
7.
6, all in the 1990s, right? Did he do it by himself? So was it the Michael Jordan Bulls, or was it the Chicago Bulls, right?
It's a great analogy.
Even the best NBA player in the world cannot play a game by himself and win 6 championships, right? There is a team there, right? And there's a reason why there's a team there. The team makes him better. He makes the team better. You feed off each other. Same thing in real estate. I mean, I believe truly the best agents in the world, they will probably tell you the number one thing that makes them successful is the team that surrounds them.
Yeah, it is, and it absolutely, Mike, and that goes beyond just your agents and your administrative team members, right? It's your mortgage partners and your title and all the partners that are involved in the real estate transaction. Mike, you and your team. And I say this often. I mean, you and your team, you're one of the best teams in the entire state of Minnesota, and you guys work so well together. And the mortgage, the whole real estate transaction is complicated, and there is 100 steps to getting a file closed, right? And so, if it was just Mike Overson, loan officer, there's no way you could, as an individual, provide the same service that you and your team provide to your clients. And it's you guys do such a phenomenal job, and everybody on your team is committed and they're all in, and it's a team effort all the way around.
Absolutely. I say it all the time. Couldn't do it without them.
Nope.
No way.
Could not. Folks, we're talking about questions to ask your buyer's agent. When you're a buyer, you're in the market, you're interviewing, you're going to sit down and maybe you're going to interview several different agents. Questions to ask. Number 3 on our list, how well do you know the market where I am searching for a home? Your agent must be licensed where you're buying a home. So, for example, if you're looking in Minnesota, they got to be licensed in Minnesota. If they're looking in South Dakota, they got to be licensed in South Dakota. Your agent must be licensed where you're buying a home, but they should also have market knowledge to help you successfully find a home where you are searching. So there's Homes.com. I think has done a really good job in the last couple of years of promoting agents. And one of the tools that they have on their website is you can search an agent, and then you can go to a place in there that shows all of that agent's activities on a map. And so it can give you, the consumers who's kind of, maybe searching around and looking for an agent, an agent that wants to live in, let's say, Prior Lake, or a buyer that wants to live in Prior Lake. Are you going to call an agent that is in Lake Elmo or Duluth to help them with their Prior Lake search? Probably not. You want someone that knows your local market in the area that you're searching for homes.
Yeah, I think you see that, Jason and Mike, and I'm licensed in South Dakota, but I also have a license in Minnesota as well. And the reason is because Sioux Falls is a border city. It sits right on the border of South Dakota and Minnesota. It's just 25 miles west of our hometown, Laverne, Minnesota. So that's obviously a market that I'm familiar with. Laverne being growing up there and being so close to the main city that I service, and that's Sioux Falls. But yeah, I mean, just because I'm licensed in Minnesota, if there is a property up at the Lake of the Woods, probably not very knowledgeable of that market, right? And you as the consumer and client, you have all the right to choose whoever you want to hire, but just having that honesty and saying, hey, I have no knowledge of what's going on up there. Yes, I'm licensed in Minnesota. If you're want to hire me and that I'm the only person for you, I'm just letting you know up front, this is going to be the first property that I worked on up in Lake of the Woods. But if you're looking for higher expense, a higher level of expertise, don't worry, because we can find you a realtor that is an expert in that specific market through our very vast networking resources.
Consumer's Guide, 10 questions to ask your buyer's agent. Number 4 on our list, do you have experience working with buyers in my situation? Many agents specialize in working with certain types of buyers. For example, first-time home buyers or veterans. Some are also accredited buyer representatives, designations. So there's different designations you can get for the specialties that you work in. But maybe you're an investor. And you want to work with an agent that has experience in investment properties. Maybe you got to do a short sale. Maybe you're a seller that needs to do a short sale. You want to work with an agent that has experience in short sales. And so I think that's a great question as well. Sometimes we get clients that have very, very unique and specific wants and needs for their real estate purchase, right? And so a great question to ask, it's all about the interview process. When you're meeting with that agent, they should be asking you these questions, tell me about your goals and your needs and where do you want to be, and getting that information from you so they can best service you. But ask them the question, are you experienced in working with buyers in my situation? Folks, talking about 10 questions to ask your buyer's agent. Number 5. Can you tell me about your approach to scouting properties? Agents and brokerages across the country have different business models and use and provide various technologies, tools, resources to inform the search process. Discuss with your prospective agent how their unique approach will help you find the right home. What does that mean? So look, all realtors, nearly all realtors, have access to the same MLS data. Same thing you're going to find on Zillow or Homes.com or Realtor.com. That is the MLS, and so that's kind of the, it's like public record of homes that are for sale. But can your agent find you properties that are not on the MLS? Do they have a list of off-market homes for sale? Do they have a network of sellers that are interested in selling their property but don't want to go on the MLS? What, are they going to get creative? Are they willing to go door knocking in a neighborhood that you want to be in? Maybe there's a townhome complex, and and we've had this. We had a client this past summer, and they said, we want to live in this development. I don't know, there's probably 40, maybe 50 homes. They were detached townhome style. We want to live in this development. There was only 2 on the market. One didn't work out. The other one backed up to a busy road. And so 2 of the agents on my team, they went door to door. They went knocking door to door in the entire neighborhood. Said, hey, we've got a client. We've got a buyer that wants to live in this neighborhood specifically. Would you consider selling? And so what is your agent willing to do that's above and beyond, really the information that everybody has access to? It's a great question to ask. What resources and tools are they going to use to help you find the property that you want and that you need?
And that can go beyond the agent and the agent's team that they may be a part of. It's good. It's a good thing to know about what the brokerage is doing in terms of market share. So I work with Hague Realtors here in Sioux Falls. It's a family-founded real estate brokerage from the 1940s, and they're industry leader. Right now they're top 2 always in terms of volume. We do about a quarter of the market share. So, it's very common for a seller client to come to a Hague agent and simply say, hey, we want to sell. We're not really interested in going on the MLS, the multiple listing system. We would rather just have a pocket listing. Reach out to your colleagues over at your brokerage and see if there's anybody who's interested in the property that we have that we want to sell, and maybe we can do it by avoiding having to go on the MLS, letting the public know it's for sale. And there's some great opportunities there. So whether it's a team example like Jason you described of just doing the extra work, going above and beyond door knocking, or simply just relying on individuals' database, past database, current database, and the brokerage database as well.
Yeah, we had one of the agents on my team. He had a client, again, specific neighborhood they were interested in. They saw one property. There was a couple listings. One of them was a maybe, but didn't quite work out. And is Riley on my team. And what he did is he was in the neighborhood and he's looking around. He's seeing one agent had like 3-4 signs in the neighborhood, and so what Riley did is he called that agent. And he said, hey, I got a buyer that wants to be in this neighborhood. Do you have anything coming up? Agent said, yeah, actually, next month I got 2 listings coming up. Riley asked, can I get in before you go on the market and show my buyers? Yeah, we can make that happen. And we'll, when the homes are ready, before they hit the open market, go ahead and bring your buyer through. So it's just, is your agent willing to do what's needed to get you in the house that you want, and are they going to get creative, and are they going to work hard? These are great questions to ask. Folks, we're talking about a consumer guide, 10 questions to ask a buyer's agent. Number 6 on our list, what will be included in a written buyer agreement? So once you're working with an agent, before you tour a home together, your agent it's required to enter into a written buyer agreement with you. Outlines the services the agent will provide and what they will be paid for their services. These agreements are fully negotiable. And then I'm going to go into 7 and 8 because they're all a part of this, and we'll discuss. 7 is how long will we work together, and 8 is what are my options for paying you. And so, before it was it was highly recommended and highly encouraged for agents to go into a written agreement with the buyers before you started showing them homes. As of August 17th of this year, it is now required. So a part of that agreement is, what is the agreement? Is it an exclusive right to represent? Is it a showing agreement or a tour agreement? Is it a non-exclusive right to represent? How long is that agreement for? Is it 1 month? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Is it 1 day? These
One
are
property.
one property. And then what are my options for paying you? And so in that agreement, an agent will disclose what their compensation is and how that compensation will be paid. We have not, since the new rule has taken into effect, and we've done a lot of deals, we have not had any of our buyers have to pay our buyer commission. It's all been negotiated in the sale and paid by the seller. So, but it's important to talk to the buyer about, well, what if the seller refuses to pay? Then it's my responsibility as a buyer. Well, how can I pay that? Do I have to pay that out of pocket? Can I add it to the mortgage? Can I roll it into the deal? And so, all great questions, and it's important that your agent can thoroughly and clearly explain the buyer agreement that you're in.
This goes back to the NAR and their new business practices that they implemented on August 17th. That was, and to your point that you've made multiple times, Jason, there are brokerages out there that was already required. Mm-hmm. It was already required through the brokerage themselves saying, hey, you guys can't show properties until you have an agreement signed. That practice was being done by a lot of the top tier brokerages prior to the August 17th. And that's why when sometimes you'll hear some agents, some realtors say, hey, a lot hasn't changed for us. And that's because they were working for brokers that was already using above and beyond business practices. So
it's good. It's good stuff. These are great questions. Folks, we're talking about Consumer Guide, 10 questions to ask your buyer's agent. Be sure to go to our website, ushometalk.com. You can always call or text the real estate hotline number, which is 612-234-7585. That is a 24-hour real estate hotline number. You can connect directly with Marcus, Mike, myself, Evan, all of our fantastic US Home Talk partners. And then again, our website, ushometalk.com, is the ultimate real estate resource. Number 9 on our list, can you provide or can you recommend service providers who can help me obtain a mortgage, make home repair, inspection, support other closing tasks, maybe a title company? We have been really intentional about building a vendor list or a partner list. We call it Walgrave Concierge Services. And so whatever you need, of course, mortgage related, we're sending to Mike Overson and his team at Luminate Bank. Insurance needs, we're going to send you over to Evan with Paragon. If you need a lawn guy or a handyman or electrician or plumber or carpet cleaner, really anything related to real estate, we've got somebody. We've got a partner that we're comfortable and confident if we refer them to you, they're going to take care of your needs. And I think, we've really strived to be a one-stop shop, all things real estate resource. And I've told the story before. We've had clients move out of state, call us up years after they moved and said, hey, Jason, can you help me find a plumber in Dallas, Texas? Yeah, actually we can. And so we love being that go-to everything real estate, because it's not just a sale. It's not just a transaction and then we, sell the house and move on to the next one. We want to be your all things resource for the rest of your life. And so really important question to ask, does your agent have the connections to take care of any other needs that you might have related to your home?
I mean, we even have a healthcare professional.
Yes.
That's part of our group because we were so impressed. I know that Jason has worked with them personally on some things, and he was just so impressed with it. He's like, you guys got to be a partner on here because we want to be that one-stop shop. So it's like, You need a plumber, you need an electrician, you need anything dealing with your house. We got a medical professional there that we'll even, refer out to because we're so impressed with them. So
yeah. It's interesting, Mike, because over the years we've I mean, we've had different guests on the show. They own a, whether it doesn't, not just real estate related, but we had, Tad and Jackie on. They own Flourish Medical. And so, there's, if you think about it, your home and real estate, it kind of touches everything in your life, right? And so I love being that resource, and I love helping clients out with whatever their needs are, and we continue, I think, to do a really good job at that.
I think one thing, guys, too, is for people to understand, our realtors are not salesmen or saleswomen. We don't own the homes. We don't own those products. We are service providers. We are going to provide a service to allow you to buy a home or an investment property. We're going to service your needs and service to satisfy your real estate goals. So that's always, I think it's easy to say like, oh yeah, I sold this home or something like that. But the grand scheme of things is that, we don't own these products, and which then makes us salesmen. We are servicemen and servicewomen of real estate.
Yeah, that's a great point, Marcus. Folks, be sure to check out our website, ushometalk.com. We'll have this show on shortly after. You can catch all of our previous shows. We've got our real estate hotline number, which is 612-234-7585. You can call us, text us anytime, 24 hours a day, and we'll connect you with the right person to make sure that we take care of your needs. Last one on our list, and again, this is the Consumer Guide, 10 questions to ask a buyer's agent. Number 10, do you have references I can speak to? Many agents will be happy to connect you with satisfied clients they have worked with within the past who can speak about their experience. I think this is a great question. Part of our buyer presentation and seller presentation is we've got our resume on there, and so again, this every potential client that we meet with it's a job interview. So does that agent have references? Do they have, reviews and Google reviews, which I think reviews are great. And I think that they serve a purpose. But got any references? I mean, Marcus, you and I get called. I mean, how many times a week do we get reached out by some company that wants to sell us something? Usually some type of lead gen product, or they got the next best thing to generate all these leads, and that's a whole nother show. But if I find one I'm interested in, I'll listen to them. I'll do the demo. But my last question before taking the next step is, I need to talk to 3 people that you're currently working with right now. And if they are unwilling to provide me with the names and numbers of 3 current clients, there's no way I'm considering their services, right? And so it's a great question, and if you've got an agent that's been doing a really great job, a team that's been doing a really great job, they've got clients that are more than happy to share their experiences. So, folks, great show. We do appreciate you tuning in, whether it's live or later in the week. This has been another episode of US Home Talk. We'll be back next week, Wednesday at noon. In the meantime, be sure to check out our website, ushometalk.com. Our real estate hotline number is 612-234-7585. Again, 612-234-7585. Hope everyone has a fantastic week.